COVID is going around, so he's afraid he might have had it, so he didn't want to come in today just for the fear of not getting anyone else sick. We keep that in mind because COVID is going around. I'm Jennifer Curry, I'm the Vice President here, so I'm going to help do this meeting today. So I'm going to start off and call it to order. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum? Great. First thing we're going to look at is approving the January meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I found a couple of discrepancies in the minutes regarding the report of the TYC numbers that I provided last month. Do I need to repeat it all?
Yes.
All right, sorry. I found a few discrepancies in the numbers that I provided last month on the minutes, so I would like those to be corrected. I don't know, if you'd like, I can reread them, what they were. The total revenue was $44,000, cost of goods sold 9, payroll 24, other expenses 26, with a net loss even of 14. Excuse me, yes. And then when we add in the Kemper management fee, that took it to a loss of 21.5. Those numbers reported on the minutes are a little bit jumbled up, not in the right place, so I'd like those to be corrected, please. I can provide this to the secretary to do that. So I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and approve those based on these changes once they're adopted into the minutes.
Seconded. What it is she has to re-listen to all the minutes, and sometimes it's hard to hear the numbers exactly. So she's just correcting what was on the paper. So with this amendment, do y'all approve the board minutes for January? Yes. Okay. Any nays? Okay. Next agenda is approval of pool step repairs. So as you know, last year the pool steps got broken or were broken on both sides of the pool, so we had to close it down at some point. We've gotten some bids, and we've picked a vendor to go with. They are going to start this week. So it was an approval to fix the pool step repairs. I believe it was 1,000, was that correct? Around 1,000. Does anyone make a motion to approve? Anyone want to make a motion to approve? Second. Okay. Next one is approval of employee bonuses. As you know, last year it was we were a little bit tight on the budget, so the bonuses came a little late for our employees, which was not great. But I will tell you, Andrea did work really hard on this. She found a way to cut some costs on something that needed to be done in the community, and with that savings, she helped create a bonus for our employees. So it was a $250 bonus per person. Usually they get more, but we are thankful for God, at least, and thank you, Andrea, for doing it. Do I have a motion to approve? I second that. All right, does anyone have a nay? Sorry.
I abstained.
She abstained. She didn't have, well, I'm not going to speak to her. Okay. Reports. That's the president's overview. So again, Greg's not here, but Greg did give me his overview. So I'm going to read it. I'm not going to elaborate too much on it because I'm not Greg and I don't want to speak for him. But this is his president update. So for board meeting formats, he says he's going to change the format, but the residents forum, let's go like the open questions and stuff, he's going to make that after our meeting. So we're going to close the meeting, then we're going to have the open forum to ask questions. It is mistakenly included in the board proceedings. HOA management experts strongly advise against including. It goes against industry's best practice. Starting today, meetings will be adjourned before residents forum. As a practical matter, nothing changes. All residents can participate like before. All questions can be answered like before. Only change, forum discussions won't be included in the meeting minutes. Next, for the yacht club, room rentals, they've been very popular. Residents are taking advantage of them, and we will do the room rentals till June, none after June. So we've had a strong restaurant interest in the club. It was Christie's group, which met with the board, several other leads. We also got some leads through the Falcon group. The Falcon group is a large restaurant group. They have a lot of significant resources to put us in front of other restaurant owners. We're currently arranging building tours. Next is the board also met with developers. One firm out of Heath, commercial arm of Regal Realtors, they're here on Ridge Road. Any development project will be a tough sell with a long timeline, probably not viable at this time. Cell phone towers, the cell phone towers. We expect to receive a proposal within weeks. Projected cell coverage, a 5G signal to most Chandlers. Most Chandlers, I think you mean most neighbors. Usable signal to all Chandlers and eliminates 911 safety issue. And his last update is on Spyglass. All paperwork filled out with the courts. Spyglass toll tags have been turned off since they are no longer part of our community. We will not be patrolling security anymore over there. And we'll probably negotiate an amenities agreement in the near future. Okay, that is the president's message. Next to the treasurer.
All right. Hello, everyone. So, with the Treasury Board, we have finalized December financials, as we mentioned earlier. We have received January, but we're still scrubbing those to go through to make sure that there's no accruals or anything that needs to be adjusted. With that, also, we did open up the money market account this last month and have been able to put a significant amount of money into the money market account to gain some interest for the CLCA, so that's been helpful as well. What else? Someone else can look at that question. I'll wait on that then. Other than that, I did want to get into a little bit just as a board member up here and the hard work that we've all been doing from week in and week out. It does feel somewhat a little bit, give the Thursday meeting to me personally, a little bit being undermined what the board was trying to do by calling a meeting for the whole residents to meet with Christie's. It was a little bit premature as we're still going through negotiations. Christie hasn't done their due diligence or their homework or some of their things that we need of them to be able to come to us with the plate. As Greg mentioned in his president's report, we also have been working with the Falcon Group that is a company that deals with both landlords and restaurateurs. And they've got 3 groups that are coming that are interested in looking at our facilities. And so anyways, I just feel like that whole thing interferes and it starts on unnecessary rumors. As I've seen many things on Town Square already of people communicating of, oh, we can get them in here right away. And there's still, again, a lot of beginning to this process. And it doesn't really help the board in trying to do things with our due diligence that we're trying to do. We have all these other side comments and questions and rumors coming at us. Also, though, I mean, if anyone does have any potential prospects, the board is always interested in the residents' feedback. And at the time that the board feels necessary, when we feel like we have a good candidate that has the right, checks all the boxes, we do want to bring it to the residents so that the residents can, get a piece of that. But, this meeting on Thursday to me, like I said, just seemed a little bit premature and unnecessary. So it brings the wrong communication around the whole community in my eyes. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks.
All right, next, let's do the 50th anniversary update.
Hi, everybody. We started off with a sunset toast by the subcommittee, the history committee, and it was really nice. It was well attended. But then we went to our super fundraiser that started off our year, the Super Bowl party. Woo! It was really a lot of fun. We had like over 200 people that came to that. It was really, really great. Very well attended. I would like to make a recognition of some people that tried extremely hard to help us. Cindy is our chair. She's going to present a little.
So
gift.
we wanted to present the cooks who cooked at the event. For those of you who came, they served some wonderful meat that was left over in the restaurant, and I think everybody appreciated it. So they worked very hard.
They actually had a purchase.
I'm sorry?
We actually had a purchase.
You had a purchase too? Well, even more reason to give them a gift. Joe Lang is first. Rachel Mars is not here, so I'll give that back to you. And James Wagner. We really appreciate your support.
Okay, Joe, show them what it says. Show them what you got. It's cute. It might be a little. Wait. Yay! Yeah, no. Okay, we have put banners out around the neighborhood. You may have seen them at the entrances. We're ordering a third banner to go here at the front entrance about our 50th anniversary. We have talked with several officials of the city and of our state, and hopefully our government in Washington, that they are making proclamations for us, and we're going to dedicate those at the 4th of July party that weekend. The 50th anniversary committee we raised over $1,000 at the Super Bowl. I was very proud, and I could not believe how much food came in. It was great. The kids crew are holding a President's Day art event on 2/19, Monday, where our young Chandlers Landing artists will create art that depicts what Chandlers Landing means to them. And then their art could be used on t-shirts and will be displayed at the July 4th ceremony during the weekend. We are now going to have art and craft show fundraisers. I have the applications if anyone wants to be a vendor. We're going to have 3 of them. One is March 11th. One is May 11th. March 16th. Excuse me. May 11th and June 22nd. And those funds will go to raise money for the 50th. The History Subcommittee is working on several projects for the 50th, including a historical installation, a historical Chandlers Landing timeline, and a time capsule, and a 50th anniversary main sheet special edition. So, if you know anyone who wants to be a vendor at our arts and craft shows, we're going to have wine tastings and different things like that going on that whole day, so everybody can come and shop. I do have the forms, and I do want to remind you that the club is available for resident use for renting for private parties. So, if you need to do a private party and you want to come here, I have paperwork for you too, also today. And then, did you want to say anything about that one?
New business.
Is it in a new business? Okay. Thank you.
Next is maintenance. I'm over maintenance. So just to give a quick rundown of some of the things they do, this is going to be a complete list because they do so many things around this neighborhood, but I'll just read off some of them. So they started mowing again. They're also cutting down trees. As you know, I don't know if any of y'all have been to the park, but there's a lot of trees down, but they've been starting to cutting up the trees. Some of them we're gonna have to get vendors involved because it's just such a huge project and some of those trees are quite big. That could be a little bit of a safety issue, so, but they've started removing some trees, they even removed a tree that was outside of the club that was dead. So they've been working on that. They've also been trimming up the lantana, sorry, I can now hear myself. They're now trimming up the lantana around the community. At 501, they fixed some exterior doors. Some of the latches weren't latching. One of the doors wasn't hanging properly. They've taken down the vents. The vent in the back rooms used to be like pure black, and they took them down, cleaned them, and then repainted them. They did touch-up paint around the club. They fixed the outside fireplace. I'm not sure if they completed the inside fireplace. There was an issue. Okay, they're still working on that one. And then there's an exterior light switch. The women's restroom had a faucet that was broken. We also had a city inspection, and they're completing a list of things the city inspection wanted done. They're about 50% through. He thinks they'll probably finish on Monday. The group of them will finish. We had a stop sign that was hit that they had to refix. The north gate, the infrared light went out. He had to troubleshoot through that, figured out what was wrong with that, got that fixed. It really just goes on and on. And like we talked about with the pool, we have a vendor coming out this week that's going to start working on the pool because we need to start working the pool now in order to get the inspection done from the city in order to be open for the summer. So we were working on that. And then, like I said, he's also going to get with vendors to get some quotes to help clean up some of the trees in the park. But they're working full force and doing a great job. Only one other thing, it's not maintenance, but don't forget the main sheet's out this is January, February. We're already working on March. Thank Mark for working as hard as you do to keep doing this. It keeps our history going, keeps the community aware of what's going on. You can't get them at the front office. We did have some on the back table. They come out every 2 months. I guess that's it. All right, security.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming today. With regards to security, we had, there was a power outage in Chandlers, as we all know. I want to say it was January 30th. A lot of people were affected. The club was affected, our gate was affected, the security gatehouse was affected. And what has come up is that our security team really didn't know how to work the smaller generator that we had up there. They've all been advised now. They kind of went through everything with them. So that should not happen again. And we have a kind neighbor here who has offered to reinstall the large generator and with the team and possibly bring back that big propane tank. However, taking advice right now with our maintenance team as well as with our security team, they feel like that is not something that we need to look at. What we do need to look at is our panel with the gate system, which is a major cost. And I guess this was brought up in past boards that we should have possibly spent the money and had it fixed. It's about $20,000 at that time. So right now they don't feel like it's an urgent need. But however, with all due respect to the resident that came forward and asked to help in this situation, I would like to get this in front of the board at a future meeting. I haven't been able to do that right now just because we've been so packed in our weekly meetings with talking to potential people that want to come in and help out with the club. So we haven't given it real due consideration. So I would like them to understand and hope that we will get a formal proposal in front of the board so we can really make a good educated decision on that. That's about all I have for security. Otherwise, it's kind of business as usual here in Chandlers Landing. With events to the committee events, since I'm going right into that, March 1st, there is a bingo night here at the club. It starts at 7:30. We have a St. Patrick's Day run, March 17th, from 1 until 4. The run usually starts right up here at the top of the yacht club and goes around the loop, and there's stations, beverage stations for everybody to attend. We have an Easter egg hunt, March 30th at Mansell Park at 11 a.m. I want to thank the Ashmores. They donate 2,000 Easter eggs every year. So thank you so much to the Ashmores. Taste of Chandlers is coming right in that next weekend, April 6th, from 12 to 3. We'll be up here in the ballroom. We have a nice little band that will be playing over on that side where everybody goes to grab their plates and then go over there to eat. Joe Lang is in charge of Taste of Chandlers, and he is still looking for banner sponsors, people that might want to cook. Everybody donates the food, so this is no cost to Chandlers. We do ask for a $20 donation, and it's important to know that kids 10 and under eat free. So please bring down your families. We love to see the children here. We also are looking for non-food vendors. So Joe's phone number is listed, so please give him a call. And then we have our spring garage sale, April 27th. The HOA office got behind this right away because I know a lot of you are looking forward to cleaning out your garage and meeting your neighbors. So this is April 27th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. There is a rain date of May 11th. Please call the HOA office to get signed up because they make out a list and people can go by and pick up the list. And then we go on to the round.
Thank you. Well, the roundtables have been really eventful. We've been doing them for the last 7-8 months. We'll have the next one on the 27th of this, so if you guys can attend Tuesday the 27th, we'd love to have you here. I want to thank everyone for attending these events. We've had good conversation, common and opposing viewpoints. Common and opposing viewpoints of what we want for our community. I'd like to address the Yacht Club and what has been an overwhelming common vision from people for a restaurant amenity center. Over the past 28 years, I've witnessed these facilities managed by 4 different groups. As we're all aware, the last group, or number 4, has been our community. Our current board has faced these challenges of operating the business of the TYC and has, I think, unanimously learned as a board of directors should not be in the restaurant and hospitality business. We've also learned that the neighbors unanimously want a restaurant amenity center group of occupants to provide our community with restaurant and hospitality service. With all that being said, I'd like the outside interest we've been encountering and entertaining as a board member. I want to take this opportunity to invite my fellow board members to make the motion that this board take a specific course of action towards community's financial well-being and wishes of its community members by making the motion that future management and businesses occupying 501 Yacht Club at this time known as the TYC to be offered as available real estate to qualified potential occupants who will offer and provide financial compensation to Chandlers Landing Homeowners Association and its members, and will also bring a restaurant and hospitality business into this facility. The business terms for the future business shall be negotiated to be all bylaws, covenants, and requirements of our homeowners and our board of directors, along with homeowners' documents, and all such negotiations shall be handled by the current board of directors. Also, we have to meet the current Texas property code, and I will be the point person to act on behalf of Chandlers Landing and the Community Association in negotiations with any and all potential occupants of the 501 Yacht Club building. The reason I offer my own services for that is I've operated and owned a 24,000 square foot building. I had it for 18 years, and I had tenants throughout all of it, so I'm very familiar with it. And I'd just like to offer that up, but I'll make that motion that we set forth this building to begin negotiating for occupants. Do I hear anyone?
Second.
Second.
Oh, I say for that.
Seth wants to take over. Can we get a?
Have you got some discussion first?
Yeah.
We've been discussing it for 7 or 8 months.
Oh, I say because you're saying you want to be head of negotiations right there, you know.
We had that discussion.
You said that in the meeting, and Greg said yes,
Want to table this? What Rick is proposing?
Do we have anyone else that wants to table?
Can we finish our discussions, please? Rick, I recall in our work sessions, you were appointed the point person for the Christie's group. I don't recall any other, we hadn't even decided on specifically a restaurant. I mean, they did a very nice presentation. I was very impressed with their enthusiasm and their earnest.
I'm not saying anything about Christie's. You're bringing that up.
But in this motion, you have said you want to be the point person for all.
Negotiations.
No.
Well, you can't negotiate with several different people when you're dealing with real estate.
Right?
So,
Yeah, and have you ever had any restaurant negotiations? I have
Sounds like a power grab.
15 years of restaurant negotiations. I don't
You
know.
negotiate leases?
I don't know what, yeah,
Who's some of your tenants?
oh my goodness.
I'm on the other side. I was on the
Seriously.
restaurant side.
In all due respect,
Please sit down. Please sit down, we'll have a conversation afterwards and we'll address that as this.
it's not on the agenda. It's actually a specific agenda item. That's the law.
He's not listening. No one's listening. That's my phone, he doesn't have the door. Okay, that's it then.
And while we're at it, this whole thing is, this agenda needed to be posted by 10 a.m. on Sunday to be legal. You guys need to get up to speed. Jennifer, out of order.
Well, guys, I'm doing what I can do. I mean, that's what I can do. And, you know, that's all I can offer. I get support. Leaders only can lead if people follow. If they don't have followers, then they can't lead. And I'm trying. Next. Motion's on the floor. Do we have a second? We have a second. Could we get a vote, please? Lisa votes with me. Julie votes with me. You guys abstain or vote against? I'm sorry?
I don't feel like we all have to discuss this at all. I think
We haven't discussed, we haven't
It's
discussed
out
this.
in front of the residents right now, and this is the first we've ever heard of it. Maybe.
Three for and three against. So this will go forward based on that seventh vote, and he's not here. So we will put this before him. And we'll either carry forward with negotiations for leasing, or we'll go from there.
I mean,
I've been going to these meetings now for 8 months, and I'm ready to get something done. That's why I've been going to this.
As I recall, we are getting stuff done. And we've been working as a team, I thought, as what we are as a board.
I think she just said we lost $26,000 last month, and we own it now, so.
Did we get rid of Kemper? This was a Kemper thing, okay? This is all something that was done before we were even on the board. So, again, I thought we were a team here. We're trying to work as a team, as a community, and it doesn't sound like you're doing that right now, Rick.
Well, it depends on whose team you're on, I guess, Seth.
Yeah, I think it's just a difference of opinion, that's why I say if I table it, I'm excited and would like to go forward with the restaurant, but like as I said, as we sit here, we're not even in agreement, nor have we sat and talked about what we would even talk about that we go back and forth on. That's the only thing that I'm good with. I'm good with the restaurant, I'm good with wanting to bring something here because we loved going to it, but I wanna sit down and talk about particulars before we just roll right into something. And like you're saying, you're the head of it, but let's talk about what we would even
I'm more than
talk
talking
about.
about it. I've been talking about it. I've been talking about it. These people that came in here, we've been talking to for 5 weeks. We haven't countered their offer yet, and that's a bad, bad real estate move.
Yeah, but I can't let you just make the decision on what the counteroffer would be. Let's talk about what the counteroffer would be.
Again, I'll mention my motion, and I'm trying to get support. I've got 3 to support. My motion is that we carry forward with negotiations to bring a restaurateur in here.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm in agreement with bringing a restaurateur and us being a leasee, but with the second part of here, what you put in here, I am not in agreement with it.
Okay, then you're against me handling it then, right?
I'm against you being the sole priority of handling it, yes. I want us to work as a board, as a team.
I will bring everything just like I did Christie's. I will bring them for you.
And again, Andre and I went to them and said that they need to come back with more due diligence. They needed to do their homework. They need to come back with.
Wait, okay, you said that you didn't contacted him? I have no idea that you contacted him.
No, we did not contact them. We said as a board. Okay, let me back up. Rick, you were supposed to be the head of negotiations, of communications with Christie's, right? So
I was also in
We
charge,
also-
there was another individual that came in here, so it's not.
correct. Greg and I have been talking to the Falcon Group. So it's very clear that we're going to make it
Well,
very clear to the whole
that's, see,
residents.
there's a hole right there. You guys have been talking to someone that no one else knew anything about. And
That is
that's where we're
totally
going to have
incorrect.
confusion in negotiation.
You are bringing up.
Greg, I understood you to be the point person for Christie's, as it said, obviously. I mean, we haven't talked
Well,
about
then
this.
the other one, why, I mean,
May I please finish? After the meeting with Christie's, I had 4 things that I had asked for within 4 or 5 days. A couple days later, we had another work session, and I asked if you had forwarded my email to those folks, and you had said in an email to me back that you felt it was too soon and way too much that I asked for. So at the work session, I said, would you at least ask for the first 2 things, which were management bios and a business plan. And then at the meeting a couple days ago, I asked you if you ever sent that to them, and you replied no. So I'm okay with you being the point person with Christie's. I'm okay with Greg being the point person for Falcon and Seth, because they brought those, I don't know how that relationship happened. At this point, we have a lot of folks that are trying to they have interest in this building, but
that's what I'm confused with. I don't know who you are.
well, there's the Falcon Group, we have the developer, which Greg has said that it
That
doesn't
he
look like.
and Greg was taking care of that, no one knew about it, so there we go.
But we just had that meeting last
Brought it
Monday.
to the table.
He brought it to the board, and it looked like it's really not a viable option for us. And we did not have a vote, but I have a feeling that most of us would have voted no. I don't know, but I probably would have.
Well, it's just, I guess it's my frustration after 8 months.
I understand.
Listening to all of you guys and trying to do what you're asking me to do.
We met Chris's group 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we met them.
What about it? Oh, wrong, that's so wrong.
Maybe 3.
No, they brought the presentation they gave us here. Or I can go back and I can tell you exactly when they spent at least over a month.
My recollection is about 4 weeks, actually.
That's okay.
So,
Okay, back to the motion. That's it. We shouldn't be discussing this here, but we are. I've been back into the corner with 7 or 8 months of hard work and a lot of it. And this is every week for the first 6 months. I went to bi-weekly, and now we're doing, bi-monthly, and we're still on the bi-monthly deal. And we'll have another one on this 27th slot. More than welcome everybody here. I hate to be pushed like this, but when I am, I do fight. So that's what you got for me.
There you go.
All right, next we have the front office update.
poor girl.
You guys hear me?
No. A little closer. Closer.
Hello?
There,
I
yes.
might lose my voice, so I do apologize. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Nice to see everybody. You don't know me, I'm Kristen Hartani. I've actually been here for since 2016, through security all the way up. Just a few things that we're working on in the office. We've got the 2023 audit on their way. I've worked with ILEA, with the MAC group, and myself, getting information to the vault to get the audit going. Trying to make sure that goes on the right path to get it done on a timely basis, not wait until summertime like it's been. Also, we've had inspections done down here at TYC to move from the CLC to LLC to the CLCA. Also, Andrea has been doing wonderful for us, helping us, just revamping everything up for us in the office. So is Sheila.
And our IT tech, they're working together to get more, get our community software, make it more streamlined, and generate the compliance letters, because right now we're doing individual letters, so it's taking a lot of time. And plus all the reports, just to make sure they're all up to date. Just to let you know, we do 2 compliance tours every month, inspections. This is what we're looking for, since it is dormant. We're more looking on fences, exteriors of the houses, make sure they're needing to be repaired or painted. Also debris, if there's like piles of debris, make sure you get that without trash. Inoperable vehicles, there's been some operable vehicles that we've had to take care of. Also the board has sent, you guys have pictures of, we got a complaint from somebody about roads in Chandlers that need to be repaired and looked at. Possibly maintenance can check to look at, to maybe do ABC, the worst, get them done so these roads can look better. Also, we're still having an ongoing issue with holiday decor, Christmas lights, believe it or not, we love those lights. Overnight parking is still a big issue. We're sending probably about 80 letters a week. Not a week, but I mean over the course of the month. We are getting those reports and running those letters, sorry. Also, just to let you know, from the board aspect, there is the top 11 delinquencies. They range from a little over $1,000 to $6,000. They're between, the lien has been expired, so we're moving forward with getting the lien, get a new lien back, refiling the lien on that. And also, and there's 7 that are in the process of getting a lien on them. And then there's 1 that they're doing research to get the title to start a lien on. And that averages out to $27,308. Well, thank you for you guys' time, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Okay, there's no old business, there is new business, and it is, an updated collection policy. Do you want to speak to that? I don't know if I can, not really. Oh, so it is old business, I'm sorry. There was no old business. Oh, there was?
I wasn't for that one. I know it's.
What?
Regarding old business, I wanted to give everyone a quick update on the TYC accounting ramp down. Last board meeting, I was charged with, or I took it on myself, whichever, reaching out to all of our vendors and getting actual statements, open statements. So I've spent some time calling them, asking for statements. We've got quite a few that are at 0, which is what Kemper represented. There are some that are problems that I'm working on with them, with the vendors. I'm pushing back on several. They're pushing back on me, so I may need to get Seth and possibly somebody at Kemper to help me move things along. But just as a quick update, I would like to make a motion for funding from CLCA. I did have to transfer about it was $10,000 from CLCA to the TYC to cover sales tax that was due in January from the sales in December, along with a couple other things. We had not paid Kemper the amount that we were supposed to per the settlement agreement because of these discrepancies and issues. We have to agree, the settlement agreement says that we have to agree on what is due to them, and at this point in time, we've not gotten to that amount. The amount that I'd like to make a motion, I believe we're going to need about another $10,000 for February. This is for, a lot of this money is for the NCR operating leases that Kemper did not apparently we're not aware of back in May that hadn't been paid for months and months and months. So there's quite a large balance of back due invoices for that particular NCR system, which is the point of sale system. That contract expires in April, and we do have quite a bit left. I'm going to be working with Seth to verify all of that before we get to the end to make sure that we're not overpaying any of that contract. So the overall right now, the worst case scenario, in my opinion right now, my calculations, it's almost 48,000 additional that we'll need for the NCR contract, for the Kemper, if Kemper's number stays where it is. We also have a couple other marketing groups that are coming back saying that Kemper never paid our bills. That's about $5,000. We've got another one from Ecolab, which was some of the chemicals and stuff that they used in the kitchen. I've identified and was told that we should be able to get credits on some of this stuff and possibly refunds. However, the regional manager is now pushing back. So that amount could net us $4,000 in cash back, but as I said, he's pushing back pretty hard. So we'll see how that ends up. All that being said, I do believe that we need to make another transfer of 10, so I'd like to get an approval and make a motion for 20, 10 from last month and 10 for this month, to transfer some funds into the TYC account. I do have that in our cash flow from last year and this year, so it should not affect our budget overall. We did have some cash that we didn't spend last year that we were able to keep in the bank, I should say. We weren't spending it because I knew we would have these expenses coming up. So if someone can. Second.
Can you read the motion again, please? I didn't understand what you were asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I make a motion to transfer $20,000 from the CLCA operating account into the TYC bank account. $20,000.
Say what specifically do you know that?
Yes.
Well,
A whole bunch of our POS system, the point sale system.
I can send this to the board and we can.
We're in default if we don't pay it, so.
What was like electricity bills?
We're not in default at this time. We are, we've got accounts payable that is due.
Right.
And most of the folks that, well, I should say all of the folks that I ask for statements of, and they know that, and I know that they've got open invoices, they are aware that we are working with clearing these things up, whether it's pushing back or getting them paid.
Can I make an amendment?
Of course.
I'd like to amend it that we pay the $10,000 that we owe the state, and then table the rest until we get your report. Because I have to see all the people that we owe money to.
I'm sorry.
She wants a report.
Before we move another 10
Right, I'd like to move the money that we owe to the state.
to the state, okay. It's sales tax and we also owe the franchise tax.
Yes.
The two of those for this month is $3,400. 32 to the franchise state tax, that's from last year, just so you know. Yeah.
We got it all paid.
So 10,000 for those two, or,
So they're four.
all right,
And
okay,
then we'll take care of the rest.
all right. I'll make that motion then I'll withdraw the motion.
Okay, the new business was a new updated collection policy. I know we've been looking at getting an exact policy put in place because I don't think everyone was on the same page with what the collection policy was. And so it just got set forth so that everyone in the office and everyone was on the same page for what they were going to do. Is that pretty much it in a nutshell?
This is a PC 209 requirement. We had to send this to the attorneys, and the attorneys brought it back. It needs to be filed with the city, so that's what this collection policy is. And we've gotten it back, so we need to approve that. Make a motion to approve this new PC 209 collection policy that the state requires.
All in favor?
Okay, at this time, we're gonna go ahead and adjourn, and then, yeah, so, at this point, we're gonna adjourn the meeting, and then we're gonna go into open forum and question and answers. So if you have any questions, please state your name and your address.
Hi, Jim Brewer, 420 Columbia. I just wanted to say I appreciate the openness that you guys are conducting business. That's a good thing. It's one of the commitments that I heard from this board. Looks like you're doing that. What does disturb me is there's things like negotiations are sensitive. They should be handled in executive committee, and I don't think it's appropriate for the community to get involved in suitors or other people that we just happen to be talking to. That's why we have a professional board that's going to act there. To Chip's point, there are specific laws on how we have to operate as a board and what needs to take place in executive session, what needs to be on the agenda and when, and so that things like blindsided by a vote doesn't occur, right? So I guess I'm just on the soapbox. I'm not really asking a question. I'm just making a stand for running this board in a professional kind of fashion and not doing things that open it up to the whole community. And Seth, I'd welcome I'd welcome anybody's comments on that. Thank you.
Actually, that's one of my big concerns. I also feel that this board needs some guidance from professional property management guidance, if you will. I've never sat on an HOA board. I haven't really been in the audience of one for over probably 20 years. But I did recognize early on that these meetings are not industry standard, in my opinion. So I've talked to our management group about possibly getting some temporary guidance, training, if you will, which I will be presenting to the board now that I've gotten a few different options for us. So thank you. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. One of the things that we did do is bringing this open forum to the end after we adjourned. That was one of the suggestions that I felt we could do very quickly. But thank you very much, Jim.
Seth, any comment on the negotiations and the public nature of that?
I mean, I kind of mentioned that earlier. I agree. I think that, we as a board need to work together and do our due diligence with potential prospects. And then at that point, we can kind of relate to the community. But, I think that's what y'all voted us here to do, is to come in here and to be the voice of the community, and also to bring our professionalism in to be able to bring in the right opportunity for whatever it is that we're doing within the community. So.
And if I could offer one specific suggestion, we have retained counsel. Make sure that the council briefs the board on exactly what laws and how the board has to operate, so that you guys are certainly in balance. So thank you.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of research on a lot of that stuff as well for us to keep us in check.
Yeah, well, we take that Mr. Willows in got question. I guess the concern that,
Closer
to your mouth. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The concern that many residents have had is that boards in the past have made decisions without getting input from the community, the residents. So I think that everything shouldn't be done in executive committee or not discussed properly with the residents. Things can, if you're not in favor of something, it can drag on and on and on. We want to see things accomplished, and we want to be, let you, the board know, because you work for us, what we want. And that's my opinion.
And I completely agree with you and respect that, and I do believe that the community should be involved. I just think that it was a little bit premature with this. I use the Christies as an example, because as Andrea and I, we're still looking for more information. Greg and I have been working with the Falcon Group. We got 3 other potential prospects that could come in here that, you know, it would be nice to be able to say, hey, come to the community and say, here's the 4 that we're looking to present. And as you as a community look at them and say, you know what, we like these 2, and we know we're not really impressed with these 2 or whatnot. But anyways, my point is that's what I mean by us doing our due diligence and coming through, because to just bring them onto the table right now, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of negotiations need to be done. They just came up with, they said they have 3 prospects, they have not mentioned who they are yet, so.
How long will that take?
That was this week, so again, y'all are, I don't know why y'all saying all of a sudden, they've been building a whole media prospect. They said they had this huge thing, this big restaurant here where they were gonna present everything like a week or 2 ago, I think it was. So they've been and presented all this stuff. It's been in the works building. It's not all of a sudden. This has been.
No, I understand that, but I also understand they wanted our prospect to go through that. And we said
Well,
no.
of course they did. They wanted like say, well, bring in another one.
And I haven't heard of anybody else that they brought to us. Nothing's been in an email, no communication from any of us. You? Have you heard anything? I haven't heard anything.
I don't think-
Oliver was something else.
I don't think that we're having discussions about price negotiations and contracts here at this meeting. We're just discussing what we would like to have moved forward. And that would, I think several of us are in agreement that we'd like to move forward with some type of restaurant. But we're not doing contracts with all of us giving our opinion, which is what I think he was implying, that we're negotiating. We're not negotiating anything at this table with anyone. We're just saying, let's move forward with that.
I have a question about the timeline on moving forward. I think that's what the residents are frustrated about. Is what is the timeline? You mentioned the Falcon Group, and then supposedly they're new. So when are they going to be presenting their presentation to you? And I hope they do a presentation to the residents like the Christie Group did as well. I hope that is done before the board takes a vote on, we're going to do this or that. I think it's crucial because everybody in this room that's been here a while, we were burned in the past big time. And we don't want to see that happen again. So I appreciate Nancy getting Christie's in here. I don't think that was undermining anybody. We don't expect to negotiate. We expect you guys to negotiate. I would also like to know, what is the board's, what is your minimum on what you're going to accept for rent? What is, we would like to know some of those numbers before you jump forward and commit us to another Kemper-esque type contract. None of us want that. None of us. So can you tell me, Seth, when Falcon is going to be doing their thing with you guys?
We're supposed to be setting up walkthroughs next week, so that's the idea.
Okay, will they do a presentation in front of the residents?
I'm sure they will at the right time.
Okay, and what time would that be? I mean, are you guys looking at a timeline?
If you go with anything with this kind of negotiation, it could take anywhere from 6 to 9 months to get a restaurant.
Set a deadline.
I got over 20 years of dealing with over 100 restaurants and building out restaurants and all over the entire nation. And you never get something done within, a year done in 3 months. I mean, you gotta remember, they gotta come in and bring in all their teams in and do all the preparation. Probably got the kitchens and stuff and clean up the kitchen. You're talking 6 to 9 months before you do.
Okay, my question for timeline is when would the board stop entertaining, having all these people come in and say, okay, we're gonna make a decision, go with Christie's or Falcon Group or John Doe, and we're gonna do that within the next month. That's what I'm talking about. And then if the negotiations are fixing the place up takes 6, I understand that. But I'm just trying to say, have you guys got a format or a timeline of when you wanna have these things taken care of?
We have just started to entertain potential prospects. So there's not a timeline, right? But then again, at the same time, we gotta look at these potential prospects. If they're not even up to par, for example, if they only wanna give us $1,000 a month for rent here,
Right.
they're out, right? So
Right.
we gotta make sure they are fit for not just what the residents want here, but also, you know, the logistics, the financials, everything, right? If they're wanting to come in here, just say they wanted to come in here and just tear down this building and put up something new, that's not something that we're looking to do, right? So we want to make sure that we find the right prospect, and that prospect hopefully will be within the next few months, and not a year from now, we're back here a year from now saying the same thing. I mean, I know we've all been pushing, we're all excited, we all want to get this done. But at the same time, I want it to be done right, so that we don't get another Kemper in here, and so we don't have another, you know, fire drill, like what the hell's going on in our community? I want to get the right fit in here that's the right fit for all of us, you know, honestly. Thank you.
May I say something? Could we hear about the right thing, what's good for us? I think we need to rent this place and get it going. But you still talk about negotiating. Negotiate the rent, what they're gonna serve, what all they can use, and present it to the neighborhood. That's what I think, but another 2-3 months. We're gonna be here forever again.
I would like to interject that the boards before us will be probably the boards after we're gone, and whoever's here will be still here. So with that in mind, I'm losing my connection, but with that in mind, Kemper wooed us away. I mean, they were strong, they were stout, they're national, they did everything. And with, you know, look where we wound up. We've got to be careful, guys, and I don't know if you can bet on it. I really don't. You might get somebody a lot more powerful than we are. That's all I got to say.
It's just frustrating when we are shelling out all this money, 10,000 transfer, another 10,000 transfer, and the building is sitting here, ready to be rented. So, I really want to look at valuable candidates. I didn't know the Falcon Group were bringing in anybody, quite honestly. I knew one of them was pregnant, and then it got tossed to somebody else, and so I thought we would just fall through the cracks, quite honestly. So I wish my board members would communicate a little bit more with me and keep us updated on that. But honestly, we have a qualified restaurateur that wants to come in.
Yes.
And honestly, I always use the word arrogant. They're arrogant enough. I think they can actually pull it off, in my opinion. I really do. I used to work those 75-hour work weeks. I know what it's like. And these kids are young enough and motivated, and they're vested in our community. They're vested in Rockwall. So on the next agenda, I want to see us put down Rick as the point person. We're going to do it properly. We're going to come in here, and we'll have a better plan for all of you. But that's the motivation that most of this board has for you, is to bring you somebody. And I think they're ready to go. I think they actually want to take over our liquor license. We might have to look at them as more of a management company, because I don't know if we can get to long-term leases. So that's, our legal has been consulted, to your point, Joe Brewer. We have talked to them. They have reached back out to us with some proposals. So now the board needs to go back and kind of look at that. And I think that's all Rick is asking, is for us to really investigate how we can make this possibly work with this group.
One thing to add to that, I didn't ask, but they said they could have this place up and going in 30 days.
Yes.
Houses over. I've only been here physically a couple of years, but I'm very interested in having invested in this place and want to see it succeed. And I've been gone for a couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to keep up with what's going on here. I'd like to know, don't we need to tell whoever it is, Christie's or whatever, what rooms are available, what rooms are going to be held off for the...
That's the reason for the motion.
Okay, well, we just, I'd like to see us move forward and get off the stump.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where are we?
County Langer 606 Severage Court. I just have an off-the-top question is, do you have any idea how many of our community residents have access to, not have access to, but are actually using Town Square? Because that's where we're trying to get our information from. Anyway, do you have any idea how many of us actually?
Kristen does.
Yes.
About 40%.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the email you sent. Okay.
Yeah, Kristen, I pulled that data, and I guess Seth did too, and we both just said about 60%. So it's, and that's 600 people, including Spyglass, which we all know will be exiting here very quickly. So I'm not sure, I didn't do the drill down on how many were Spyglass, but at that time it was 60%. Absolutely.
Is it 60% of the households?
Is there any way to increase it?
Cindy, she's on. We tried.
We tried, yeah.
Actually, Sheila here, who just stood up, is been bugging me about getting on a campaign to get more folks signed up on Town Square.
I'd like to say something. Some of the residents, because you're only allowed one time to be on there, and if you own 10 properties, you can't be on there 10 times, you can be on there one time.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
those percentages get skewed, which I've been talking to her about because we were wanting to get more on there, but we may actually have a whole lot more than you think, because if you own more properties, you still only get one time in Town Square. So I don't think it's an actual reflection of who is really on there.
Good
Does that make sense? Yes. Okay.
So, this isn't my question, but in response to what you're saying. All right, I'm not now. But in response to what you're saying, and y'all all probably don't know, but I've been working with the software, trying to get the software to work. We looked at the software is always antiquated, the customer support, their help desk is hopeless. I've spent a lot of my personal time and private time researching to do that. We looked at Town Square, the critical community group software. But we are working with Town Square. This week I'm working with the IT. I think I figured out some of our gaps on some things, but we still can't get mail merge to work so that our HOA group can send out the letters for our covenants and bylaws. So I'm still working on it, and I have some ideas on Town Square, so I have a meeting with them next week too. So, and it is a push to get everybody on it, so we don't have to waste paper mailing everything out, and the community's like better informed.
Can you include me on that one? Because I want to sign that way back.
Yeah, okay, sure. And then now my question was the building. Now, I'm not talking about restaurants, but I'm talking about, like, we talked about trying to utilize the bathrooms down here and the area down here where we can have like a little common area. Right now, the tennis players have access to it, and a lot of people just don't know about it. You know, the bathrooms down here under the stairs. And I think we talked about possibly making an area where some of the residents could use it because it's separated, locked
She's
out.
talking about the room that faces the porch, the pool.
Right. So I just wanted to kind of see where we were on that, so that, you know, besides the tennis court people, if you're out walking, you can go up and use it. You know, or we could make a little sitting area or some areas where we could utilize it for some of what we're paying for in the meantime until the other stuff is done. So I just want to make sure that we're still aware and going to do that, or is it being communicated with the board yet?
I know that we kind of been working on it. They've been talking about changing the lock downstairs and making sure that the security keeps it open from, if I recall, it's like 3 to 8 or 8 to 3 or something. I can't remember the times, but they were working on getting a lock so that you can come in and out. So we've been working on it, but I don't know the details specifically.
Today at 3 o'clock, we're putting chairs and tables to put into that room so that we can have access to that room and we have big gap. Three times that.
Taylor Garrett, 5505 Ranger. There's an old saying, time kills deals. So if y'all sit around and wait to try to get some deals, supposed people, they're going to go down the wayside and find a better opportunity for them. So if you wait to supposedly have 3 other companies, they're the only ones that I've ever seen a name or somebody to step up and say, we're here ready to take the lead.
I'm just going to be blunt. They didn't come anywhere close to rent, to be able to cover rent for this place. So if they want to, again, we're gonna be talking about burning deals and stuff. Rick, you were supposed to go back to them and come at us with where we're at with
We've never heard that.
Yes. So we communicated this, and we communicated in just last week's meeting. And so again, we're not trying to kill deals, but we're also not going to just give this place away. So
Are we paying them like we were paying Kemper, or are they paying us?
they're going to pay us.
We have successful entrepreneurs
We
that are
don't
willing
know
to do
rent to our
it.
residents right now.
We've got successful people that want to do it, and all we hear is we just want to keep hoping somebody else comes in the door. I think it's the wrong thing.
This place is beautiful. I don't have to hope for anyone to come in the door here. I bet we could get a lot of people coming in the door.
I doubt it. So let Rick move forward. Yeah. Then we're going nowhere.
I'd like to know when we're gonna pave the road up there. This is certainly before summer when the pool is open. It's not necessarily related to the restaurant, but when that pool opens and all these kids come down here in golf carts, somebody's gonna have an accident, we're gonna have a big lawsuit on our hands. So we need to fix the potholes in the approach road. Repave it. Is there any plan to do that?
Yes.
When?
Yes, it's in the budget, it's in the plan to do. So I think I'll leave that.
This fiscal year or when? Paving the road. The access road to the pool.
I would think when we have enough money in the budget, we should be able to do something like that. Have we been in the budget?
I mean, it's been, and the parking lot is just as bad, but the access road is what I'm concerned most about because of the pool.
No,
When it
I
opens, the kids are
understand.
gonna be coming down there in golf carts and somebody's gonna flip over and we're gonna have a big lawsuit on our hands.
Duly noted, when we have money, we'll address it.
Say again?
Duly noted, I said when we have money, we'll address it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Just real quick, sir, I have 60,000 budgeted in March for street repairs and another 60 throughout the year. My intention would be that we would deal with this approach and these large potholes coming down here because we are intending to have a lot of people come to this building, a restaurant. That's not, as far as the timing, has not exactly been pegged yet, to be honest. But we do have funds to get that done, and I do have it scheduled for March.
Are we accepting bids now?
Bids. Not me personally, but I know that we do have a couple bids that Chuck got us last, like end of second or third quarter last year, which is what I based the budget on, what I thought we could handle money-wise. Obviously, if we feel it's more important to throw a little bit more money at it, we'll have to move some budget dollars around, or maybe use some of our reserves funds. But right now, reserves have not built up much. By the end of the year, we will. So it's all a balancing act on the cash flow at this point.
So yes, we're accepting bids now, because if you're gonna start something in March, we better take some bids now. It's February. Okay, Ms. Haslett.
I know that you submitted a bid from one particular vendor, however, I believe that was for the parking lot. I'm starting to agree with this gentleman that our approach is more important. So we may need to go back out and pre-bid for just that. And then maybe do pothole repair in the levels of the parking lot. But that's something that the board needs to start. So that's something that I agree needs to be put on our work session agenda.
Jan House, 110 Scepter Drive. This is
in regards to the Christie presentation. I don't believe anybody would really want us to hitch our wagon to the first star that comes along, and I don't think that's what people that are anxious to see this move forward are saying. But what I will say after being at that presentation the other night, they gave us a blueprint for what could be, for a vision that none of us have had. I walked away thinking I could never have dreamed of even half of those things. And we have a blueprint now. We have something to have a base to gauge things with. And if it turns out that it is them, they're the only ones, great. If we need to, I think it's wise to entertain with the time frame, as many as we can. And with that falls on, I'm afraid to say, the board, in the sense that time is of the essence. Let's don't lose anybody that's a potential commodity. But they gave us the blueprint. Now, if we've all got it in our heads, anybody that went to that meeting walked away and went, oh my gosh, we could really have something here. Yes. Something that we've never even entertained with Kemper. Not even close. So I think that's maybe what the most valuable part of that, not just what they have to offer. Yes, they have to come back with more facts and figures, and that's what negotiation is all about. But I walked out that door and I looked around and went, I'm proud of this place for the first time in a long time. I've been here 33 years. The first time I really thought this could really be something big. We've got what's going on over there. We've got what it could affect us, how it can affect us in real estate. In our own personal real estate is an amazing prospect. I know I don't want to be pie in the sky, but we got to act. We've got to be really, really, really active with going forward with this. So that's what I really just don't wait too long to agree. That's all.
Hi, I'm Jim Allister, 156 Liberty Lane. I do respect and appreciate that the board needs to cover the rent and a little more on this building for wear and tear when they lease it out to whoever. They shouldn't just lease it to the first bidder that comes along. I was impressed with the Monday or Thursday presentation, but I didn't see any financials, and I don't know what the highest and best value is for this building. I know it's more than $30,000 a month. So I appreciate it for struggling on this. Thank you.
Shannon Wagner, 327 Harbor View. You know, if we do talk about this and we have the $30,000 a month that we are paying on this note, we cannot expect a restaurant to come in here from day one and pay $30,000 and succeed. So I think y'all can discuss that, y'all can negotiate it, but you cannot expect a restaurant to come in here and pay that kind of money and succeed. Period, end of story.
Terry Shadow, 5534 Canada Court. I'm more frustrated right now than I was walking in here. I don't know, we've got to let Rick move forward and just start the negotiation. Give your people a timeline. Let's set a deadline as to when your people can come in. He can start negotiating. If you've got something better coming in, then we'll move forward with that. But we've got to have a deadline to when things have got, this is the deadline. And your people have to have yours in, and I really feel we need to let Rick start negotiating and see what we can do with that. I am more frustrated leaving here today than I was walking in.
Same here.
Yes.
Let me say this, no one has told Rick not to negotiate.
You know what, I asked him, let Rick move forward. He looked straight me in the eye and he said no. That was the answer 5 minutes ago.
Well, my response to the motion today was not stop negotiations or don't start them. It was, I'm not prepared to have Rick deal with all the negotiations solely.
That's That's not what he said, that's not what he said.
That's what he did say.
Yeah.
Well, he's been the point person with this one particular, sewer. And
But my question, my statement was let Rick move forward. He looked me straight in the eye and said no.
Why has he not given us the?
You're not letting him move forward. You just said no.
I came before the board. Greg said, yeah, go ahead and take it. That's what Greg said. We were there. We shouldn't be having this conversation.
But I personally am a little confused why the talks have stalled out.
Drag our feet, guys.
Yes. Yeah. I had a point blank statement and his point blank answer was no.
We have asked for specific things that have not even addressed at all with the group. For example, I told them that they need to come back to the drawing board with rent and talk about percentage rent, doing the percentage rent. If you're familiar with percentage rent at all, you don't give them a $30,000 rent, you give them like let's say a $10,000 rent, and if they do well, they pay us the other $20,000 of percentage rent. But the point is, they have not, we have asked Rick, Andre and I have asked Rick to go get some.
And I will give you my response without the microphone. I'll give you my response. Those folks need to know what their rent's gonna be before they can figure out what their cost is gonna be. Folks, that's a business 101.
And that's what I just said. They need to come back to us with a better rent. They just threw out a number and a prayer. And so the point is, we haven't stopped negotiations. Because we never talked. I talked to them one time, spoke to them one time, about 2-3 weeks ago.
Why did you come to meetings?
And so, again, Monica and I had sent emails to Rick saying, ask these questions.
Planning report 635 Courageous. I love all the talk about the different, possible restaurants here. I'm curious if we're still in light of what legal realtors told us, if we're still entertaining the possibility of it being something other than a restaurant or amenity center.
No.
So that's completely off the table.
Turn the place
All
down.
board members agree.
I would say I wasn't impressed. It was taking out all of our parking lot up there, Rooney views on Intrepid and on Columbia, and I don't have a lake view, but I'll protect anyone in here to have a lake view. So I would not be for that.
Is anyone else on the board in favor of this building being something other than a restaurant or amenity center?
No.
No.
I know what we want.
That's a very open
Well,
question.
what you want.
What I'm not open to is developing the land, that's what I can answer.
No.
And it wasn't the Regal Realtor. Regal Realtors who also got through the Falcon Group, which I came through another way. So Falcon Group is who Regal Realtors tied to.
Well, I'm just more concerned about this building becoming something other than.
The other group was a commercial group that I don't think any of us are in favor of developing the land at all, as far as.
If you're looking at 3 years down the pipe.
Well, I'm thinking 30 years down the road. I mean, I'm hoping to be here for a long time. And, I'm mostly concerned about looking out my side porch and what I'm looking at. When I purchased my home, this was in the process of becoming the first generation of the yacht club owned by the homeowners. And I bought my house under that assumption. So I'm just hoping and wondering what the board's, vision, whether it's Christie's or some other random restaurant. I just want to know that the board is in support of what I think the majority of the residents want, regardless of how we became owners of this building. I want us to continue to be the owners of this building.
Yes.
Well, I'm still on when I got voted on is that I want us to be the leasee, to here to be able to be the landlord and collect a check here, and then eventually, it be to where we have the snack bar outside, we have restaurant, we have everything in the community as a whole. But I'm still on board as I want us to be the landlord.
Yes.
I'm chagrined to ask another question. It's sort of a question, it's sort of a comment. What disturbs me most is seeing the fractured board here and seeing open disagreement. I expect you guys to solve that in executive session before you come here to the community. To have a strategic plan, to know where we're going, and to be, I know you'll argue all these approaches in executive session. I think that's fabulous. The fact that Rick's got different views than you do is fine. But when you come here in front of us, we want to see one board. We don't want to see this stuff. It just, it scares us.
Yes, we do.
This is
Okay,
transparency.
so this is only reason why I want to side table things. I'll talk about my opinion about this place. When we listened to a developer, you asked us to look at the options. We looked at the developer. I didn't want to develop this place, but my job was to listen to all the different options, right? So the options are on the table we're listening to, right? I don't want to develop this land. I'm only speaking for myself. I would like a restaurant. I would like to be able to use our amenity. That's just me, right? So when we come here, we have to go through so many things as a board, to go through so much information, and the time goes so fast. And the thing is, we just got the second option shown to us, and now we're sitting here, and I think what he's asking is just, let's go forward with negotiations. It came out a little bit different, and since I didn't see everyone in alignment, then I was like, let's just side table this. This can be done in 2 seconds if we just talk and get through it. But the thing is, it just came up the way it came up. First of all, I don't like to choose the word fractured. It sounds fractured, maybe. We are not fractured as a board. We can work together very, very well. And the only reason I wanted to side table was because of this conversation going on right now, that if we just sat for a few minutes and had time to sit there and just kind of talk it through, I think we could smoothly talk this through. It's just a lot with everybody here, but what was nice was I got to hear what your thoughts were. I got to hear from the community, so that was important. So I don't think we're fractured. I don't think this is going to be a problem. I think there's going to be some forwardness. Just at this point, just side table it and move on.
Till when?
How about till next meeting? But I can't tell you. I cannot make decisions for 6 other people. One's not even here. I cannot make decisions for them. So when I say we have to sit at a table, we have to sit at a table and do it. We have to. I can't promise you that I'm going to make all other 6 people make a decision today, tomorrow, next week. What I can do is, I get it, and we all would like something really soon. But what we need to do is just do our part. We need to do it. So I think everybody does want to go forward. I think we're all working on that. But at this point, this is where we're at. This is where we're at.
How about this? I think the other night there were 100 chairs. I don't know how many are here today. I'd have to get my shoes off to get them all counted. The HOA has a Survey Monkey account. And so what would be wrong, actually, I'm not going to ask that question, I'm going to make a statement. It would seem to me that in a matter of about 15 minutes, you all could agree on, these are the questions to get out to the other, there's 940 plus or minus homes or property owners inside the gate. It would seem to me to send out a survey with pretty much yes or no questions to make it pretty easy, and get that out with a set time period to answer it back, so that you get some, in addition to all of us here that are passionate about this place, or against, mostly for, I think, and get some input from the rest of the residents here, so that you're making an informed decision, not only including us, for whatever reason we couldn't make it today because they're working, they've got sick kids, or whatever the case is. So it seems to me that would be also it helps you all in terms of what you hash out, to Jim's point, behind closed doors, and gives you some direction.
That'd been great if we would have done that before we re-up Kemper's contract.
Yeah.
We're not going backwards.
I'd like to respond to that. Actually, I talked to Greg a couple weeks ago, told him we have a survey monkey subscription, and told him I have in the budget 4 at least quarterly surveys. I had hoped that they would be out prior to this time in the quarter, and that they would be published the first of each quarter. And he and I talked about maybe having 10 questions, and I thought specifically this should be the topic of this. He thought he could get that done fairly quickly. I told him I had no experience, and he said it's a very easy thing to do. So I'll bring that up to him again. But I don't think he's gonna have any issue with helping with that or assign it to somebody who can.
Didn't you tell us the last time that they did a survey like they got a much answer or something?
Yes, actually, the survey results that we have from before was only 111 or 12.
Oh, the people that are here.
But.
Yes, the second that are here, right?
And I mentally thought if I could get even half of the residents, I would be thrilled. So when it does come out, please tell your neighbors, your friends, whoever, to get on there and answer as many questions as they can. I feel that 8 or 10 would be probably the appropriate amount. So thank you for bringing that up. Everyone look for it.
Okay, so put it on the marquee.
Yes, definitely, we will.
I do want to say one thing, with all due respect to staff. I thought that their first negotiations, Christie coming with us with the rent, was nothing to sneeze at. It was not piddly amount. So I just wanted to mention that.
Hey, if you are going to get into the next number though, they're not going to proceed the highest number to go.
I know, we know that. And so I do want to mention that because I don't want you to walk away feeling like, you know, they're not at the table. Yeah, they're not jumping at all. So, just in my opinion, I don't know anything really about rent here, so I'm gonna have to defer to those that do, but, I still think negotiations are okay.
Let me say this, I didn't know about the Falcon Group, and possible 2 or 3 prospects, but I have a feeling that the interest that Christie's has shown has sparked a few people to go, heck, if we're interested, we better jump in the game here. So I'm also a big believer of sometimes the first option is your best option. My mom taught me that a long time ago. She was in real estate. Sometimes the first offer is your first and best offer. So I would like to see all of this either come up, bubble up within a month or 2. Who's really interested and who's not? And maybe these new 3 folks from Falcon will turn out to be, we might get a little, maybe 2 of them stick it out, and we get something from just 3 or 4 very quickly. That's my hope.
I've got a quick question. This is for the board that's here. How many of y'all would you like to take a 15 or 20 minute recess, discuss amongst yourselves, call Greg on the phone, and get back with us in 20 minutes? We're all concerned. We want this to move ahead in a timely manner. If it's not legal today, anyhow, what difference does it make? Right? Who is somebody going to fine us or throw us in jail? Thank you.
Al back here again, 632 Courageous. It seems to me that we don't need to make $30,000 a month for this place. We're not losing $40,000 a month. And I have several friends who have lived here since the 70s. And they keep saying, oh, well, this place is never going to make it as a restaurant because it's landlocked. They don't have any advertising. The only way that it can succeed, and this is what they're telling me, the only way this is going to work is that we have some sort of monthly minimum where we'll get more residents to come and take advantage of this place, whether it be $25, $30, whatever it is. Just give them some incentive to come here. Now, all I'm asking is this something that is being considered or might be considered at some point in the future? Period.
Through HOA.
Tony Maggio from
by Lakeland Street and Slate.
Closer.
The elephant in the room. Yes, we need to do things like that with a minimum thing to get people into the restaurant. That's how it always had been.
It's not a private club.
The aliens who ran this place, people thought they owned it and all that stuff. No, there was a billionaire who owned the place that they couldn't do what they wanted because they were getting a rent and just paying rent. He had a 5-year deal versus a 7-year deal. He said if he had that 7-year deal, he was getting the wedding business back, and it's the wedding businesses that will make whoever the money. If he had that 7-year deal, he would have bought this whole property and he would have been great. Now, we all know the aliens kind of flubbed and stuff. They put in a lot of money into here, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have now invested even more than what they have invested in there. This is a beautiful wedding venue, and that is where the money will be made. Now, what happened with our last renters is they kept that wedding business for themselves. They went out, they did all the things to bring in the wedding businesses, but they could do it at their other places for cheaper prices. So we never got to keep those wedding, people. Like, there should be weddings here every weekend. And we never had that list of weddings to be done. So it's like, here, it's February, well, my wedding is in April. I'm like, in the next 3 months, you should have a wedding here every weekend, period. And they're like $30,000. Now, maybe half of that's profit, I don't know. But this is what I wanted to not be sitting on it, and it should have been sitting on you guys, Yeah. So, anyways, you're losing that potential future business. Now, I understand whoever you're bringing in, they know that, and they're gonna, walk away with a lot of money if it's done right. That's what happened with Kemper, is Kemper never tried. They didn't push that way to business. Yes, there were problems with, COVID and all that stuff. But because today we do not have this massive list of people who want to be here doing those weddings, that's the main failure.
Thank you.
First, we need somebody to run the place, and then they don't have to run.
I'm pretty sure most of the suitors want to get in here as soon as possible. Summertime, event season, yes.
Oh, I just want to say, that's why we need someone to rent this place. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have weddings and everything to make money. Nobody wants to run a wedding, do you? Make a wedding here just because we don't have nobody. We need someone to lease the place.
I think this is going to have to be the last question, comment.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Nancy Jensen, and know most of you. I think this week you've seen the passion of the people.
Yes.
And we ask that you work together in a timely manner with negotiations to help make our dream a reality, bring money to this place, and move forward.
Yeah.
You all agree?